Welcome back, everyone. For this deep dive, we're going way beyond simple labels like atheist and believer.
It's so easy to get stuck with those labels. The source really makes you think about how limiting that can be.
Right, like we get boxed in and forget there's a whole spectrum of how we see the world.
Exactly. This source calls it a spectrum of understanding, and I love that. Instead of rigid categories, it's more like a line. At one end, you might find the closed mind.
Often associated with atheism, but that's generalization, right?
Totally. And then at the other end, there's the open heart, often linked with strong belief. But it's the space in between where things get really interesting.
That's where those seekers come in, bridging that gap.
Exactly. And you know what I really like? This source uses these really cool analogies to explain the different approaches to knowledge. It's like comparing atheists to kindergartners seeing the ocean for the first time.
Oh, I see where you're going with this. So the kindergartner sees the ocean and only processes water.
Right. Yes. Their understanding is limited by their experience. They haven't had the experiences to grasp how vast and complex the ocean really is.
Okay, that makes total sense.
Yeah.
So then there are believers, and the source compares them to surfers.
Right.
They're riding the waves, getting a little wet, maybe dipping their toes in a bit deeper, but not exploring the ocean depths.
You know what I find insightful about that surfer analogy? It recognizes that believers might have these glimpses of something deeper. Like maybe they feel awe when they look at the ocean or a sense of peace when they're near it. So they are engaging on a different level, but they're not necessarily diving deep into the why.
Yeah, it's not about searching for a more complete picture. Or maybe they feel like they already have it.
Maybe. And that takes us to the deep sea explorers, the seekers. They are not content with just the surface. They want to understand the intricate ecosystems, the hidden currents, the vastness, the mystery of it all.
It's like they have this different kind of curiosity. They aren't satisfied with the easy answers or surface explanations.
Exactly. And what happens is they develop this incredibly multifaceted perspective. They see things that the others miss completely because they're open to new discoveries, even if it challenges what they thought they knew.
You know, when we talk about these kindergartners and surfers and deep sea explorers, it strikes me that this isn't just some, abstract philosophy thing. It's about how we experience the world around us, right?
100%. It's like we each have our operating system for understanding. Some of us are working with those factory settings and others are like downloading all the upgrades.
It seems like we have the power to choose to upgrade. We can be more like those deep sea explorers, those seekers who keep pushing the boundaries of what they think they know.
Absolutely. And it's not even just about getting more facts, but it's more about the way you engage with the world, asking questions and challenging assumptions, always looking for those deeper truths.
But let's be real. That sounds exhausting. That has to be way more work than accepting things at face value. Mm-hmm. What's the benefit? What's the payoff for putting in the extra effort for a seeker's mindset?
The answer. I think it's the richness of experience you get with it. Think about the deep sea explorers. They aren't just seeing a bunch of pretty fish. They're uncovering hidden ecosystems and understanding how all the different life forms are connected. They gain a deeper appreciation for the vastness and the mystery of the ocean.
It's like they are seeing the world in HD and everyone else is stuck with that blurry standard def picture.
Yeah.
And they get to experience that richness everywhere, right?
Right.
In all parts of their lives.
Exactly. It's not to say that there's anything wrong with enjoying the simple beauty of things. This source seems to say that there's a whole other level of beauty and understanding available if you're willing to dig a little deeper. Asking those why questions.
It's like something I read a while back about how even the most mundane things can be so fascinating if you learn about them. A plain rock to you or me might be millions of years of history to a geologist.
Perfect example. And it's not even just the natural world. This seeker's mindset can really enrich our relationships, our careers, even how we understand ourselves.
Okay. I'm convinced. Sign me up for that seeker starter kit. But this source also throws us a bit of a curveball here. It says that seekers are the ones who truly see, which makes me wonder, is it always better to see everything?
That is the million-dollar question, isn't it? Is ignorance bliss? Or is knowledge, even if it's uncomfortable or challenging, ultimately more valuable?
Right. Like, is it better to just see a plant as a plant, or do we want to be aware of its whole life cycle, even the decay and the death? Is it better knowing that the ocean is full of beauty, but also pollution and creatures struggling to survive?
And that is what we will be looking at next.
It's like we're wrestling with that saying ignorance is bliss. Are there times when it's just easier to not see the full picture?
Yeah, it's a good question. But I think this source would argue that the seeing that seekers experience isn't just about gathering knowledge. or only focusing on the negative. It's about cultivating a deeper understanding of how everything is connected, the good and the bad, the light and the shadow. It's about holding both.
It's not about picking to see or not to see, but being open to the whole picture. Embracing reality, even with all the messiness.
Exactly. That's where real growth happens, when we stop hiding from the hard stuff. When we embrace the unknown, that's when we can really experience everything the world has to offer.
I like that. Going from that black and white view to full color, that sounds like a journey worth taking, even if we have to face some uncomfortable truths along the way.
It is. And who knows what we might discover. Maybe we'll find that the beauty is even more amazing when we see it all, the light and the shadow together.
That's an awesome thought to end on. So for our listeners out there, as you navigate your own journey, think about this. Are you happy with the surface? Or do you feel that pull toward the depths, that desire to see more? Something to think about as you keep exploring. Thanks for diving deep with us today.